Hello and welcome back to the third episode of the Why Aren't We Virgins podcast. I am Jeremy, aka the Stash Father. We have Joe.
I'm a failure, my beer didn't open.
aka Shifty. And we have the Juice.
AKA Josh. I've taken over my moniker instead of my real name. Fuck that.
Yeah, legally changing it to Juice.
Yeah.
That might have some backlash.
What other juices have you known that done anything wrong? Come on.
Other than having fantastic marriages, I have no idea.
Fantastic marriages, great careers, everything's good. He was in the Naked Gun movies. He made it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, that's what we're
Yeah, that's
Thank you for clarifying.
No, I wasn't done.
What you got?
Was not a guilty man.
He literally in prison.
You must have quit.
He literally in the prison was like, yeah, I killed the
totally
bitch.
killed
Yeah. No, didn't you write a book that said with the tiniest little letters?
What if I did it? Yeah.
I did it. Yeah.
If I did.
Great thing about America, you can kill somebody and then just say I did it and get away with it. It's fucking great.
Yeah, you can't be what is it? You can't be charged with the same crime twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never grinded my boots on Eddie Murphy's couch.
Yeah.
I remember grinding my boots on Eddie Murphy's couch.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! Yeah, we jumped around a little bit there. Today we are sipping on some fine Guinnesses all around. Guinness from
St. James
seven-
of Dublin, Ireland. Drop stopped. Have you fucked your Mary today?
from 1759, solid recipe, solid beer. I think everyone in the world knows what Guinness is.
Yeah, solid country. I mean, made of potatoes.
The Irish are lovely people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Irish. What do you want from me?
Yeah, you trying to start shit, dog?
Yeah.
I'm Irish. You want to fucking come over here?
Yeah, this is normal. Irish people will just fight. That's how we do it.
I had one sip of my beer and I'm ready to go.
Before we actually start the podcast and talking about today's subject,
We're 2 minutes in.
I have a fantastic subject that will go along with what we just talked about, actually. So back when I used to bounce, the first gig I bounced at was a little dinky nightclub from the city that I'm from. And what ended up occurring was we had a guy that was stumbling drunk. Absolutely off his rocker, completely stumbling drunk. So I'm escorting him out. He's being difficult. He's a bigger guy. And they had this alleyway where you couldn't really see anything. You couldn't see the street. There was no cameras. And it had been a long night. So when I get this guy out there, he's a ginger, of course, about my size. I didn't know this man was Irish. So when I threw him out that door, I was about to go back in when he stood up and he goes, "Where the fuck are you going?" So we got business. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. We're getting into this. And I had probably one of the most brutal slugfests I've ever been in my entire life. We both walked out of that alley, and I dragged him out of that alley with swollen faces. My nose was bloody. My one eye was fucking closed shut. And I went to go, and I went to my other bouncers, like, this guy's fucking done. I'm done with him. Get him out of here. He's never coming back in here. And he came back, and he goes, you know, that was one of the best scraps of my life. And then he tried to give me a hug.
You know, that's just the Irish. They have a deep sadness, and the only way to end it is through violence.
Remember, look at the evolution of Irish technology. It was going great. So many inventions, whiskey, nothing for 300 years.
Yeah, so that's my.
So you're a fighter, not a lover.
To be a lover, you have to be a fighter.
I'm just a biter, if anything.
Look at me, lad. You have to be both at the same time.
Nah, I'll stick with biting and
She's
loving.
gonna try to kill you when you're in that bedroom, and you're gonna fight back.
No,
I mean, if she
I
didn't
think
try
we've
to
all
murder,
been there.
if she doesn't try to murder you at least once, is it true love?
No. If the knife fits, I mean.
The knife that
Stab.
slides between the ribs. It's the knife that hurts the most by a loved one.
All right, so the topic for today is going to be sci-fi movies. An incredibly far-reaching category that goes into certain movies you would not expect. But we're going to go over what we think our favorites are, and then just kind of hit the category as a whole. Things we love, things we thought that were funny, and things that we really think should not count as sci-fi movies. Sound good, boys?
Oh, yeah, bud.
Sure, it's not like we planned this beforehand, in depth. Yeah, sure, let's go. Off the cuff, this is all, yeah.
Okay, so is any one of us want to go first with their favorite sci-fi movie?
Will come out with the best sci-fi movie of all time, and no one's going to agree with me.
Why do you keep going Irish? We're done with that.
They have a Guinness, it comes out. All right, I'll stop.
Go for it.
The best sci-fi movie of all time, Starship Troopers.
Ooh. Ooh.
It's a great movie. It's a great satire or whatever. But
I love
of
the
all
movie.
time.
Of all time, that's a rough one.
It's a bold statement. I know.
That's a bold statement, Cotton.
Bold strategy.
Bold statement. So,
It's up there. It's in the top 100, definitely.
I will preface, I've been playing Starship Troopers Terran Command, and service guarantees citizenship.
I would like to know more.
You would like to know more? How would you like to stomp bugs in a meat grinder? Because I'm going to keep sending my troops to their death, because the more troops I send at them is the more dead bugs in the ground.
I got to go on a side tangent. There was a time playing Halo Wars with Brady on the Flood mission. That was my hypothesis. Just keep sending the Marines in, get them infected, so there's more enemies to kill. We'll have more fun. Just keep building the enemy force.
That's the way Dad did it, and it's gone pretty well so far.
Zap Brannigan. I sent wave and wave of my own men at them.
It's the perfect strategy.
Until they shut down because they couldn't kill anymore.
Okay,
they
all
had
right.
a preset kill limit.
Okay, Joe, give me the quick synopsis of why it is your favorite. Actually, you know what? Give us a quick synopsis of the movie. I don't think we really did that in our past episodes where we actually talk about the plot of the movie itself.
Never. We're inept.
Oh, yeah. All right, so why don't you give us a quick synopsis of the movie and then why you think it's your favorite?
It is a...
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. It is a movie set in the somewhat distant future. Never really quite says. But basically our main titular hero, Johnny Rico, flunks out of school and has to join the Federation because service guarantees citizenship. And he wants to be a citizen, because apparently you can't have kids unless you're a citizen, because it's weird.
It's a fascist environment.
It's a fascist,
it's a military-industrial complex thing, right?
Industrial government that controls everything. And they were literally at the point where they're like, people don't matter. The bugs are trying to kill us because they want our resources for our planet. We're going to go to them, and we're going to kill them first.
Which, as you find out in the later movies, is complete bullshit. They're just killing the bugs because money, you know?
Yeah, they were like, this
the
gives
complex.
us money. And, yeah.
We can't thrive without an enemy. There's our enemy.
There's your enemy. Look at them. They look hideous. Perfect. Send them at the meat grinder. And, yeah, our character, Johnny Rico, becomes a war hero and quickly rises up the ranks and becomes very successful in this totalitarian...
He rises up the ranks in one day because his superior officer keeps dying, and, and the next superior officer up is like, "You're it. Good luck."
I'm pretty sure you're a sergeant now. Lieutenant, good job.
I'm pretty sure the reason that he gets promoted is not because he has actually any experience commanding, just because he's able to kill bugs better, which apparently gives him the go-ahead to be promoted and have charge of people underneath them. I think he kills the tank bug.
Yeah,
he does, and they're like, "Wow, that was some interesting shit." So
yeah, his superior corporal.
Let's go, corporal.
This goes up like 6 ranks.
The prior corporal gets like her arm melted off by that bug.
Yeah, that's
like,
fair.
oh, well, she can't do this anymore.
She's done.
You're it.
And then
until I'm dead or you find someone better.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, then his commanding officer, who is not an officer, but his superior, is a sergeant, who then also gets murdered
by a flying bug.
By a flying bug, and then he basically.
You know what to do.
Oh, that's the other one. That's the final.
Sorry,
that's Michael Ironside.
Michael Ironside.
Yeah, so then he gets promoted to sergeant, and now he's some grizzled veteran.
Everyone fights. No one.
He just grows beard hair.
What they don't tell you about this movie, though, or what we haven't told you yet, is the best part about, at least for the movie, is the commercials. Where they're like doing like, "Do you want to know more?" And then they're like, kids are smashing cockroaches on Earth, and they're like,
"I'm doing my part."
Yeah, I'm doing my part. Like, what?
Yeah, it's just overall, it's funny. It's a really good action movie. I love the design of the bugs because they're just classic. And my other fun factoid about this movie is. They produce so many Starship Trooper armors that almost every movie that came after this, like, stole armor from like the back storage room, being like, "Hey, we got 10,000 Starship Trooper armors. Just keep grabbing them out of there, repaint them with a different thing. Bam, Stargate SG-1.
Oh,
they're
yeah,
on there." I'm trying to think of other movies. There's been so many. They like change them ever so slightly, and they're like, boom, Doom is another one that steals the armor.
I have to go back and watch that because that's awful.
Are you kidding me? That's technically a sci-fi movie.
Technically, but we're not getting into that right now. We're still on this because
that one stays on the ground where it deserves. And Dwayne, how the fuck did Dwayne the Rock Johnson continue?
How the fuck did Carl Urban?
Yeah.
Carl Urban, yeah.
Well, because he's the fucking.
He's
Carl
a bro.
Urban is
the next
the dude.
movie on my list.
Well, we're not going to that yet. We're still on Starship Troopers. You didn't even mention Mr. Krabs.
Oh, Mr. Krabs is the hero of Planet K.
Yeah, he's a hero. Mr. Krabs come in and captures the brain bug.
Oh my god, I forgot that's him.
Your enemy. Your enemy can't fight if you disable its hand.
Yeah,
and he fucking stabs Busey's son in the hand. Awesome.
I think there's this Neil Patrick Harris is like apparently a psychic. Oh, there's psychics apparently in this movie where they can read the emotions. And there's like 4 or 5 scenes with Neil Patrick Harris in it. One where he's like giving an infographic where he shoots the bug in the sensor and it kills it or something like that.
It can't see anymore. It's
meanwhile,
take out the brainstem. Blah blah blah.
Meanwhile, he is fully dressed up as an SS Nazi officer.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Unabashedly, he's a Nazi.
Yep. Yep. And then his like final role in the movie is he goes up to the brain bug and he just touches it and he's like,
"It's afraid.
It's afraid." Yeah.
And then everyone cheers because they're monsters.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta say, fantastic movie all around. Definitely got a lot of comedy and a good amount of action. I love that just any time that you know the bugs are coming, it's going to be a slaughter fest. The Marines in this, but I'm pretty sure the Marines, right? The Marines?
They're basically Marines.
They're not, but they are.
Right, so essentially the best
mobile
part,
infantry.
Yeah, there you go.
Mobile infantry, yeah.
The best part about this is when they fire their weapons, it does nothing because they're firing. They always fire them from the hip. They're supposed to be hyper trained soldiers, and they're just gunning from the hip.
Oh,
the entire movie, and it's just fantastic. It's so bad.
Even if they were aiming, they're usually shooting into a sea of 100,000 bugs.
That's fair.
Like their size, so they're gonna hit. But fuck, is it not gonna matter what they hit?
Oh no, it's always a slaughter fest. It is
Next
always.
Thing you know, one of them's in their the bug's mouth and just gets effortlessly cut in half and Kagumi! No!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, don't watch any of the sequels unless you have a large amount of alcohol or other substances, because they're garbage, but you can make fun with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe, I'll give you that. That's a good pick. It's an unorthodox pick, but it's a good one.
It was my curveball for this whole thing, and I just was like, you know what, I'm going out the gate with it. Fuck it. All right.
I guess I'll take the next one.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm gonna go more obscure and thought-provoking because I'm a hoity-toity douche. I'm gonna go with Moon with Sam Rockwell.
Oh, that was a good movie.
That did fuck with you a bit. Yeah, I haven't seen it in a little while, but it's
that a lot.
I really enjoyed the first time I watched it. I wasn't 100% like what's going on because I wasn't paying attention that much. But after like rewatching it a while ago, it really hit with me. So quick synopsis. The guy's on it's like a moon somewhere harvesting certain gases.
I think he's on I can't remember. I think he's
like a moon of Jupiter.
Like a Jupiter's moon.
And he's harvesting certain like elements and gases for Earth because there's always a supply shortage in science fiction movies.
Mm-hmm.
And what the basis of it is that every 3 years he dies because he's a clone of an actual human being. And they don't tell the clones, they just incinerate them and pull out the next clone to continue working. So he's up there thinking, oh, I'm going to go see my wife in 2 weeks. Turns out his wife is dead and his daughter's like 20 because he's been up there for so long.
Yeah.
And he finds it out and he helps the next clone that gets brought out because he doesn't get incinerated for whatever reason, I can't remember. And he gets that clone back to Earth. And the sad ending is like that clone is dead in 3 years. He's going to start decomposing and dying. But he's still a human. He has all the feelings. He's just...
I think his original body, his original person is still on Earth, still alive with his daughter.
Yeah, so he's going to show up and be like, oh, you're me, and that's my daughter, and my wife's dead. What do I do now?
Yeah,
I'll tell you what you do now. Black.
Yeah, they'll probably just fucking get rid of him. Like, his corporation's got to corporate.
Fair. No, I think it's a very thought-provoking movie as well because it kind of... I mean, this is a far shoot in the future, but can we not see corporations using people's DNA to make clones if that ever becomes a possibility?
Are they not now?
My God.
Have you ever been to a Walmart?
Speaking of, one of my movies.
Those are all the failures. Is Walmart, like when you go to Walmart after 7 p.m., they let the clone failures roam, and that's why you see women that are 600 pounds with like thongs on just walking around, and you're like, hey.
We're gonna piss so many people off.
I'm alright with it.
I've already thrown it out that this is a hard R-rated podcast because we can say the word cunt.
Cool. That's
Wow.
my favorite word. That is my favorite word. We have not said that yet.
You need an adjective with the word cunt. I always like to add ineffectual cunt because it's like you're just useless. I love it.
What was it? Didn't you give me? Didn't you say something to me? No. I think it was one of my coworkers who said something like that. He called me. I think he called me a slimy cunt.
Now I'm thinking of mucus and my day is ruined.
No, wait. Actually, I think he called me, you stinky bitch. Yeah, I think that was it because I farted when he walked by and I gassed him. Yep.
It was
Terrible.
me, and I can't remember what I called you. I'll get back to this.
It was something. It was something fucking great.
Yeah.
You should have wrote it down.
I probably did. You go on to the next movie.
Oh, all right. So, I'm gonna pick. Now, this one's a classic in my mind. So you guys might disagree with it, but it is The Fifth Element.
There's no way to disagree with that. It's a good time.
That is a fantastic fucking movie. Like, so The Fifth Element for me, I originally, when I watched it on like, God, it was like late night TV when I was like a little younger. And I had watched it so many times, yet never tired of actually watching it.
It's a really long movie, though. Isn't it like 3 hours plus?
The Fifth Element?
No, it's like 2 hours and 20.
All right. I thought it was a pretty long movie.
Also, I don't know where it is, but I do actually own a multi-pass.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
That came from like a loot crate like 10 years ago.
And just so you guys know, it is an hour and 53 minutes.
Oh, I'm completely wrong. I'm going to leave now.
So it's honestly, so the reasons that it's my favorite, one, I love Bruce Willis. Okay. God, I love Bruce Willis. I love when he's in movies. Huge fan of Die Hard. Well, ever since I saw Die Hard, to be 100%.
When did you first see Die Hard?
God.
When he was a little boy.
God, years ago.
Okay, good.
Fucking years ago. Which I believe that was his first major role.
As an action, yeah.
Yeah, as an action movie hero. And there's also Mila Jovovich, and she's in all the Resident Evil movies, right? She's the main actress in the
Yes,
Resident
unfortunately.
Yeah, and so that's her, I think, in a younger role as well. But I don't know. I love the plot. I love how it ties into how humans, even though we're a spacefaring race in a movie and we can travel to pretty much anywhere, I don't think the movie limits that. But there's still good and evil being fought, and it has its origins in Earth in an ancient tomb where the fifth element, i.e. Mila Jovovich.
It was love, I thought.
I think that's what it was pushing for, but I don't necessarily. They don't state it outright. So the elements are the classic, like I think it's Eastern Asian elements that came out. That was the concept, and it was air, water, earth, and fire. And then when they combine with the Supreme Being. The Supreme Being comes as like a conduit that shoots a giant laser beam that basically takes out this ball of pure darkness. It's like pure evil. And it's got a lot of good action. It uses practical effects for all of its aliens. And it's just got a lot of... It doesn't take itself too seriously, right? Like, it has Chris Tucker as Ruby Rhod. And that is the highlight of the entire fucking movie for me.
I will give you that, but I will raise you a Gary Oldman.
Can I...
I want those stones.
Okay, fair. Gary Old... Yes.
Drop a factoid in here.
Yeah, what you got?
That role was originally written for Prince, but he said he wouldn't do it.
Well, he fucked up.
That was a two Prince for Prince role, I think.
Yeah.
Right, because that's Prince in a nutshell. Like Ruby Rhod is Prince in a nutshell. Maybe not like as a maybe not as in your face flamboyant, but it's definitely there. I think I don't know. I love the plot of the movie. I love how the connection between Bruce Willis's character and Mila's character. Lilu multipass. I'm just a huge fan of it and how it doesn't take itself too seriously, and there's a lot of comedy. And Gary Oldman fucking kills it. He's unrecognizable in that movie.
That's what Gary Oldman does, though. He shows up, he just inhabits another person and says, I'm not me anymore.
Become another person.
Become another person.
I'm not talking about that movie.
Okay, Master of Disguise. It's a treasure.
It's too turtly for the turtle club.
It's really stupid.
It is a comedy treasure, and you need to whoever's watching this investigate that movie because it is fantastic. What's up?
The reason you love this movie is because it was your sexual awakening movie, wasn't it?
Really?
With Mila? I mean, don't get me wrong. She is the perfect being. No, it wasn't.
What was? Let's not.
That's an episode in and of itself. Let's make that in the future.
I think I actually have an answer.
if we. Gee, Lord, I don't want to know.
It's a very innocuous movie, but fine, we'll save it.
Well, yeah, we can save it. We can save it for.
Show that.
Yeah. Put a bookmark on that. We'll make that an episode in and of itself where we talk about that.
That's gonna be a creepy episode.
That's gonna be a great fucking episode.
My Perfect Sunday.
My perfect sexual awakening.
My perfect Sunday.
Did you guys know that Luke? Oh, here's a fun fact for you. Did you know Luke Perry was in that movie, in The Fifth Element?
Where?
He played Billy.
I can't even think of who Billy was.
Billy.
Billy.
Let me see.
Billy, I believe, Billy wasn't the assistant to the father, was he?
Dude, fuck you. I have no idea. Like, you're just out here. Luke Perry, Billy.
It's going over my head, guys. It's going way over there.
No, he was in the beginning scene.
Okay.
That's what I remember.
That's okay.
So he was in the beginning scene, at the very beginning of the movie, where there's an archaeologist and he's a hired gun. That's what it was. Okay, so basically what that ends up happening is they uncover, it's coming towards this point where the darkness is essentially coming in a few thousand years, and there's an advanced alien race that comes down with a sarcophagus of the fifth element, or the supreme being, who is the fifth element. And Luke Perry is a mercenary, so fun fact, he was very young in that movie. But yeah, I don't know. It's a great movie. It's a part of my childhood, and I will never not love it. I've watched it a million times. And I just love the world that got kind of built up. Like Earth is at this point where Earth has to build out and up because the younger layers or the lower layers are just covered in like a smog.
But there's still McDonald's, if I recall, right?
I do believe there is McDonald's.
I think there's still a McDonald's.
Yes, but this is not Demolition Man.
No, we can get into that again. We already did.
Yeah, we did.
Let's move
Taco
on.
Bell's the
Or
fast
Pizza
food
Hut.
of the future.
Yeah, no, there is McDonald's still in the movie. If
I remember the
correctly.
police, I think, getting McDonald's.
Yep, that is very true. That is very, very true.
I'd like a number 1 Big Mac meal, please.
2
Honestly-
number 9s.
honestly,
Number 6 with extra dip.
The entire cruise ship
Is a great
arc
great
part, that entire whatever saga of the movie that you want to get into, not only with Ruby Rod, because he's just such a fucking character and I love it, but also that blue-haired woman singing that in opera. It is a beautiful,
yeah.
like, this movie
I
doesn't
can't remember what song that was, but that is up there.
Yeah, it's honestly, even though this is supposed to be sci-fi and it's supposed to be action, but also comedy, that is
Queen of the Night?
a beautiful, beautiful piece. And then she just drops that fucking bomb like, the stones are in me. And it's like, what?
Yeah, that's
How
Queen
the
of the
fuck
Night.
did you get these things in
That's
you?
that song.
You think she ate them? Here's the real question. How do you think she got the stones in you?
Well, since they're not in her intestinal tract and all that, she probably didn't eat them. They
I'm
probably
gonna
were
pull,
surgically
Well, no, but no,
implanted.
he literally just cut her open and just stuck his hands in there. She's a blue alien, so we don't really know how she works.
Well, then this is a moot point. She just ate them then. She absorbed them. Okay, she shoved them up her butt.
She squatted on him.
You know? Yeah, just like you're trying to steal a fridge.
What a champion. What an absolute champion.
Yeah.
Maybe she's put him in her little head curly thing.
And that's her mouths.
It just opens up like... like that weird
turns, it opens with sharp teeth everywhere and just swallows your whole
it's
head.
like that Pokemon from Gen 3 Mawile, where it has no mouth on its face.
You are just taking a left turn into a wall with us.
I stopped at Gen 2.
I stopped at Pokemon. Yeah, that show with the things and the monsters, gotcha.
It's basically this tiny little thing that has a giant mouth attached to its head, like a tentacle mouth.
Yeah,
thing.
most people have a mouth attached to their heads, yeah.
Are you
Dude,
talking about pocket monsters?
All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Joe, you're next up in the cycle. What do you got for a movie?
Because I'm gonna bring it back to what you said earlier, and I'm gonna talk about the movie The Island. Do you guys remember this movie?
Is that with Ewan McGregor?
It's Ewan and it's Scarlett Johansson.
I have heard about it. I've watched like the first 10 minutes.
I'm gonna Clark Duncan.
Michael Clark Duncan?
Michael Clark Duncan's in it.
Rest in peace.
You
Yeah.
might have to give me a recap here because I am drawing an absolute blank.
It's a good premise.
Is a sci-fi movie where this is why I'm bringing it back. It was a sci-fi movie where they clone famous celebrities. It costs a lot of money, but like famous celebrities have their clones made and stored, and they live on this place called the Island. Or no, they don't live on the island. They're trying to get to the island. And the island, and it's shown, I think, for the first time in the movie with Michael Clark Duncan, where he's just like, I won the lottery. I get to go to the island. This is my best day ever, and everyone's clapping for him. And then Ewan and Scarlett come around a corner, and, Michael Clark Duncan's a big guy. They harvest the organs to give to the celebrities that clone them so they can live longer. So they make the clone of themselves, and then when they get to a certain age, they kill the clone and harvest the organs because they're perfect copies of perfect organs for that celebrity, and then they just have the old scoop out here, put in there, and the celebrity walks off happy as can be, healthy.
Interesting.
Well, that
so
leads
is this
to a great moral quandary. Like, do you own yourself?
No, because
Exactly, I'd agree.
Because at that point, it's an individual. It's an independent, individual thinking being.
Yeah.
That's where it comes down. Like, it has sentience. It is sapient and sentient. And, and at that point, like, all it would take is you two walking down the street together on the same path, quote unquote, and one takes a left and one takes a right, and then you're two different
Just
people.
don't look into each other's eyes, because that'll create a paradox, and
But what if you're sexy?
Definitely don't do that. That'll end time as we know it.
And I believe in the movie, it's been quite a long time since I've seen it, I will admit. There gets a point in the movie where Ewan is like, well, we need to live this life. We have to kill ourselves to take his place as the clone, so we can just like blend back in with society.
So wait, the original
I believe so.
kills the clone to blend back in.
No, the clone kills the original.
Oh.
What I would do in that is
But,
just like a strike. I just start drinking and smoking.
So the question, my question is
the
this.
movie, going back to the plot, Ewan and Scarlett escape the facility once they learn that it's not a real place. And they find out they're just in a fucking underground bunker in the desert somewhere. And they go on the run and they get chased by the corporation being like, we can't let this get out. Because
This would have massive implications.
yeah.
Everyone would want one.
We can't afford that many people. This is great for us. Let them go. We just sold them the whole movie.
We make sexy clones of you. How much do you want one of those?
Have you ever thought about fucking
Would you-
yourself?
Would you fuck you?
I would fuck her.
Once or twice. Gotta try it.
Yeah, Is it gay?
Well, once again, we're back to that moral question. Are they you or are they not you?
It is a separate entity, so I'd
Then
say
it would be gay.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
But might it be worth it?
You know what you like.
We're anticipating our movements.
Fuck is
I would party with myself, is all I'm saying.
I would definitely party.
No
with
one
myself
would do
as well.
it better.
Oh, man. Is that what, like, having a twin is like?
No. There can only be one. At the end of the night, you have to kill the other.
Yeah, right. Fair. You gotta battle to the death at that point.
Definitely a movie that's been on my list, though, but I haven't watched it.
Interesting.
sadly.
When did this come out?
Long time ago.
2005.
Oh, so this is young Ewan McGregor. Is it Ewan?
Ewan.
Ewan. This is a young Ewan McGregor. Okay. All right. Josh, you got another one for us?
Well, this one is going to exclude you, Jeremy, sadly, but it's going to include Joe. Pitch Black.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Yeah,
What
but
do you mean?
you don't have the history Joe and I do.
That is like our go-to.
The night's ending, we're hammered, put on Pitch Black,
Put on Pitch Black.
and just watch that,
Go.
because we'll be...
I was supposed to die in France.
I'm supposed to have never been to France.
That's a fucking fantastic movie.
Premise of this movie, there's a space transport ship, and it's like backwoods space transport. They're going the long way around because it's cheaper for some fucking reason that makes no sense. But
They say it in the
yeah, there's a reason, quote unquote.
Probably like shipping costs.
Shipping costs, yeah, but
Damn,
people are all in cryo sleep, and we'll get into the characters in a bit, but basically they run into like a meteor storm that hits the ship, fucks everything up, and they crash land on a planet that when it turns dark out, and it stays dark for like 3 months plus, monsters come out that are hurt by UV rays. So they're basically, it turns dark and they're fucked, and they're like, what do? We have to get out of here. There's a tiny skiff, and it's hilarity ensues. A lot of people die.
Hilarity.
Vin Diesel.
Vin
at his
Diesel
prime.
Vin Diesel is in there as a convict, Riddick. If you haven't seen him masturbate to himself in his movies, this is where it started.
He masturbates so hard to that character that he bought the rights to the franchise to continue the franchise.
That is a harsh term to use.
And then he did. And then there's the best video game adaptation ever made.
Yeah.
Escape from Butcher Bay. If you're a video game person, play it, then watch the movie. It's very worth it.
The melee combat alone is so satisfying.
Yeah, if you ever wanted to beat a convict to death with your bare hands, this is the game for you.
Like the audio design and like the feedback for like the punches and like they bruised up the face when they do it. It
was ahead of its time.
Oh man, knuckle cracked the bone.
Yeah. Vin Diesel, Cole Hauser, Keith David.
Cole Hauser.
Yeah, Cole Hauser's underrated. I'm sorry.
Oh, he is.
But great cast, great everything. I mean, feel free to take it away from me, guys.
I mean, honestly, there's some like amazing moments, amazing lines in the film.
Oh,
this isn't from. I was gonna quote like from the second one, but I won't do that. But
what's the? Is it clear? Yeah, it's clear. It looks clear. And then a monster comes out. He says, "You said it's clear." I said, "It looks clear." I have no idea.
It looks clear.
Yeah,
honestly, you have to be there.
Honestly, I would say that's a great fucking movie, and it spawned like the whole Riddick series, which again, I like the Chronicles of Riddick. I think it's fantastic.
Oh, they're great, but it is just him masturbating to himself.
Well, I think he liked the series so much that he bought it. I don't know.
Oh, I'm 100%. I'm behind Vin Diesel.
It was
all that.
Yeah, he's funding it himself, so that's probably why he's doing the Fast and Furious still.
Yeah, you know, one for them, one for him.
And 11. Why? I need the money to make my Fury movie.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting.
If he makes another one, I'm going to the theaters. I will support this man's attempt.
I will put ass in the seat.
Yes, I will bring people.
All right.
Come on, we all gotta go see this movie. Why? It's gonna be either great or train. Like, let's go.
All right, I'll say this. How about this? How about this? For the next set of movies, what we'll do is we'll do one more movie that we liked each, and then we'll get into the fun topic of science fiction movies that should not fucking be science fiction movies.
Sounds good.
Agreed?
Yeah.
All right, I love it. All right, my choice for the next science fiction movie is Snowpiercer.
Know the premise, never seen it.
Good movie. I started watching the TV show too. Not bad.
So honestly, I love I love Snowpiercer. Just I found it out of the blue. I randomly ended up seeing it. I think it was on Netflix. I want to say this is like in 2013. This movie came out, right? And it has Chris Evans, Captain America, as like the main character. And I just randomly remember finding this somewhere like 2017, 18 maybe, on like Netflix. And I was like, what the hell is this? This sounds interesting. It's about a train. And I watched it, and I ended up loving it. I think it's a bit of a slow-paced movie at first, and then it kind of gets into like a real burn. But I like the concept. And so far, so for the synopsis of the movie, humans had basically warmed the planet so much that it was becoming uninhabitable. So what they had an idea basically to put these gas bombs in the air that would create more clouds that would cool the Earth. But it worked so effectively that it sent the Earth into basically a nuclear ice age, where everything is so cold. There are certain parts of the world that are so cold that in 60 seconds your entire arm is frozen through. Enough to where it shatters like glass. And essentially where the story begins is on a train about 20 years after the apocalypse occurred. And this guy named, I think it was Wilford.
Chris Evans.
No, that's not Wilford.
Is it Chris Evans?
Chris Evans is in it, yeah.
He's like the main character, essentially. And he lives in basically the back of this massive train. Wilford was an engineer that built a train and a set of tracks that went all the way around the world. And it was a self-sufficient train with a mini environment. Essentially what they did is they have an aquarium, they have livestock trains, and they have like they have engineer trains, and they have like food conversion trains. And what ends up happening is they take in from the very front of the train, they take in the ice that gets sucked in by the front of the train. It gets melted and purified into water that fuels the entire train itself, right? It has a solar power charged like battery system that keeps it going. As well, the fact is they have a very delicate mini environment with the livestock and the aquarium, so people can eat fish, people can have the delicacies, and the rich and the famous live in the front like several cars.
How do you become famous when the world's over? Like, what do you do in this training
you're
environment?
so rich you bought a fucking prime ass ticket at the start of the apocalypse.
You said it was 20 years in. At that point, fuck you. Like, it just doesn't.
So what ended up happening was they had basic high society and low society. High society could do whatever they want.
Mignon.
Yeah, they get filet mignon and they get fish and they get shrimp and they get drugs and orgies. That's what they get. Where the people that live in the back live in literal slum and squalor. So nasty. They never shower. They're disgusting. I don't know where. It doesn't explain where they poop or where they pee. No idea. Still don't know to this day. Do they do it out of the train? No fucking clue.
They open little holes
in the bottom and they just let it go. And basically what ends up happening is Chris Evans is a leader amongst his people and wants to stage a coup, and he ends up doing so. However, this coup is a carefully calculated coup that happens every so often when the train becomes overpopulated.
But why is Chris Evans not up with the stars? He is one.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. And basically, his coup works so well that it's unanticipated that they predicted about 78% of the coup would die to keep the population little. And what they do is they take the children, the newly born children, and they use them to replace certain machine parts that break down. So it gets dark.
Forgot that part.
Yeah, it gets dark. Where basically, towards the end, there's like 2 or 3 of them left over, and they break into the very front of the train where Wilford is, right? And they find out that some of the kids that they've been kidnapping are in the front of the train, and they're like removing oil gunk, hot burning oil gunk, with their bare hands from parts of the engine itself. And it's a really dark kind of version of the future. And I really, really like it, but there's hope in it. There's hope in the end. And the fact that the snow has been melting a few feet every single year, which means within a few years, Earth's climate will essentially return to normal. And 2 characters survive after they basically blow up the train because, fuck society, because it's just rich and poor. Why would you want to live in a society if you're the poor, right? And they come out and they see a polar bear in the distance, meaning that life has actually survived, which means life could be somewhere else in the world as well.
And then they get mauled by a polar bear.
And then the polar bear comes out of nowhere because it looks directly at them. And if you know anything about actual polar bears, all they eat is meat.
You're dead.
And it smells a bunch of cooking bodies.
You're dead.
Yeah, I'm going to say that they're probably dead.
So, a hopeful movie, but humanity is dead.
Yeah, probably.
So at least life will go on.
Yeah.
Without us, that's a world I'm behind.
The moral of the story is humans are cancer, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but we're very entertaining cancer.
Yeah. We'll go down with a bang at least. Or a few.
Big bang.
Or a few.
That's a theory.
Or go down screaming. Whichever comes first.
Yeah. Well, the screaming probably starts and then the bang happens afterwards. But guys,
that's what forgiveness sounds like. Screaming and then silence.
Oh God. Forgive me, Sky Daddy, for I have sinned.
Joe, you're up.
I'm going to do a very random one. And there could be arguments made that it's not a sci-fi movie, but it is because it's not possible. The Prestige.
Never seen it.
The Prestige.
Yeah.
I don't know if
You've
I've seen
never
that
seen
one. Oh, give us a little synopsis, boy.
So basically, it's about these 2 magicians. One is played by Hugh Jackman, and one is played by Christian Bale. And they're competing to be the best. They but it starts off with normal competing, like I one up you. Then it starts getting violent. And the movie actually opens with the first twist of the movie that Christian Bale is framed for Hugh Jackman's death. He does a trick on stage, falls into a tank, and drowns in the tank. And Christian Bale, being right in front of him as his enemy, is like, oh, you're going to be hanged for this guy's murder. You totally made this man drown in this tank. It wasn't supposed to be there. And the sci-fi aspect of it is that the one thing I like about the movie, there's so many twists in the movie. There's like twists on top of twists on top of twists. So Christian Bale's character makes this trick called the teleporting man. And basically he goes into like a closet and he throws a ball from one side of the stage and it bounces and he comes out the other and catches it. And no one can figure out how he does this. So, Hugh Jackman hears that he went to Nikola Tesla to have this special box made that could transport him, like, from one to the other.
Interesting.
So this is where the sci-fi part of it comes in. So Nikola Tesla...
No, that's real.
Oh, it's totally real.
That's real. I mean, I've seen magicians do things like this. The Amazing Jonathan, rest in peace, did some cool shit.
He creates a teleporting device for Hugh Jackman.
Or Christian Bale. I'm confused now.
For Hugh Jackman.
Okay.
We're talking Wolverine or Batman?
Wolverine.
There's a lot of stages to this movie, and I don't want to give the twists away.
I would love to watch Wolverine versus Batman with those two now.
Batman.
Wolverine would totally win.
Oh yeah, no,
Well,
you would murder the shit out of Batman.
Right over there on that shelf.
I'm not reading comics.
It's a fucking movie.
I'm not watching movies.
We don't do that.
Bastard.
Who watches movies? Fucking nerds?
My
But
God.
basically, the sci-fi aspect, little spoiler for the movie, if you want to watch it, skip over 5 seconds. It makes clones of himself, and that's what keeps dying, like, at the thing. So he tricks Christian Bale's character into thinking he killed him, and then shows up at the prison being like, as someone else, disguised, and just like, I finally won. I'm the better magician. Go fuck yourself.
And then he escapes from prison, of course, and then there's Prestige 2.
No, there's no Prestige 2. It ends,
This is just a talk about a lot of clone movies.
Oh yeah, we have hit clones a lot lately. I mean, I feel like
that
that is a
wasn't
classic
planned,
sci-fi trope, though.
It is, clones, aliens, the usual.
Yeah. I didn't pick, well, I guess I picked Star Trek Troopers. I didn't really pick any.
Bugs or aliens?
I was going to pick Life, but then I didn't.
I wouldn't have been able to talk to that.
I can talk to that. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty
Good
good
movie.
movie. Good movie. Josh?
I could go with the obvious, like, Matrix, Star Wars, but no one wants to hear about the good ones.
Everyone's always talked about
Yeah.
that.
Well, those are the well-known ones. Not even that they're good or bad. I'm just
If you want me to go unknown, I'll just throw out Minority Report. But
That's not unknown. I love that fucking
nobody talks about it, but I want to talk about Edge of Tomorrow.
You're going Edge of Tomorrow.
I'm gonna go Edge of Tomorrow.
Minority Report.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one, though. It's an interesting concept.
I want to cause problems. Edge of Tomorrow, for the dumb American audience, Live, Die, Repeat, because they had to fucking rename it because no one went to go see it.
Yeah, that's kind of fucking stupid.
Yeah,
it
people...
happened.
But either way, Edge of Tomorrow, you got Tom Cruise. He is a general that doesn't he get, like, he's a coward or whatever? So he runs away, so then they send him to prison, which is...
No. So what ends up happening is, so he's like a colonel in charge of media in the military itself, and he makes a bad first impression with a high-ranking official, somebody that outranks him, and he gets officially demoted to, like, I don't know what his official level
Whatever
is.
they demote him to, and they send him to, like,
the front lines.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what happens, because he gets out there and he kills an alien, but it shoots his blood all over him, which is like some time travel bullshit that gets into his DNA and transports him back to the beginning of the day.
Mm-hmm. It's about 24 hours, I want to say.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
I think it's something like 24 hours. And, essentially what ends up happening is he has to be well-trained over there. Like, he remembers everything. And he meets the female commander, who's like a legendary commander on the battlefield, that then he works with every 24 hours he restarts.
And
Right.
she had also gone through this.
I believe so. I'm not entirely
Yeah,
sure.
she went through it too, and that's how he tells her, and then she's like, "Oh shit, you're the next guy.
Yeah.
That's got the power, and I'm done with it now. Cool."
Yeah, and so essentially, can there only be one?
Yeah, I don't know if there can only be one. I know she said she got like a blood transfusion, and that's how she lost her power.
Interesting. Yeah, okay. So essentially, these aliens are like these crazy, like, I don't know, they're made out of like this weird material that like allows them to like almost change shape in a sense, and they're like tentacle monsters. But essentially, their membrane and their brain are all connected to like one hive mind, and the hive mind itself has like the power to travel through time, or control time within a limited
That's
space.
what they do. They send out one monster that has that power as well. Like, so if they're losing horribly, that monster dies. It goes back, tells everybody what happened. They reformulate the battle plan so they win.
Yeah, so it's continuous, like they're continuously fighting, and so essentially Tom Cruise and this woman have to train every time that they restart, and they get better and better and better and better until finally somehow they like tap into the consciousness of the greater monster and end up killing the consciousness of the greater monster, or they kill the greater monster physically, and it ends up killing all the others on the planet itself. It's surprisingly pretty good.
It's a pretty good movie. The best part is just the montage part of him getting better. Like, he's trying to sneak out of something, so he rolls under a truck, and then he gets out, and then he gets hit by a car.
Yeah.
it keeps
It just keeps
fucking
getting
up.
fucking absolutely
Groundhog
destroyed.
Day, but like getting shredded to pieces.
Yeah, like he's
Yeah.
doing the training and he just gets hit by a giant piece of metal or shot to death.
Yeah, he's like he just gets fucking killed and he starts over
Also,
24 hours previous.
Emily
trope-
Blunt also, my
that
god.
Groundhog Day trope is used in not a lot of stuff, but like my favorite death ever. And one of those is the supernatural one where they're like, we're just going to stay home today. We're not going to do anything. We're going to order in food. And he's just eating a taco and he goes, does this taste funny to you? And he just wakes up.
the death. That Supernatural went so downhill, but that episode, the mystery spot,
So good.
was fucking perfect. It's like, oh, how you doing? He plugs in his toothbrush or whatever. Just constantly dying all the time. It was a great episode.
It was a great episode.
Great villain too, even though he wasn't really a villain in the end. But
Yeah.
great character.
But back to your movie.
We're done with that movie. I mean, the
Well,
last thing I would say is
the
Emily Blunt.
helicopter blade sword that wouldn't actually
That's
work in life.
important. Not important. Emily Blunt in that. My God.
Are you in love?
When she does that like push up in the first part when you see her,
yeah.
I fell in love. I had a second sexual awakening. My dick grew 3 sizes that day. Now I'm at like 4 inches. It's great.
Who's that?
3 of these bad boys. 12 inch
I
shit.
always thought it was so funny because I watched an interview with her husband,
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski, and he was going through TSA, and they pulled out his wallet and he had a picture of his wife in there, and the TSA agent went, "Is this like who's that? Why do you have a picture?" He goes, "Oh, that's my wife," and he goes, "She's with you?" And he goes, "Yeah, she's with me," and he goes, he's like, "You're a fucking loser."
Jesus Christ.
He was just like, I was so sad on that flight home.
Jesus Christ. You know what? All right. So for my next movie,
You said we're switching to something
movies
else.
movies that should not be freaking sci-fi movies.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me just say this: the entire Marvel universe, cinematic universe, is considered to be sci-fi.
Yeah, and I disagree. It should be superhero movie.
Yeah, that has to have its own category. I don't
It's
like
its own
how
thing
like
now. When it started, probably not. Now it's fucking over in there in the corner.
It's over there in the corner eating paste, and everyone who dies by those movies, you need to eat paste too.
I liked it, man.
They're not. I saw the writing on the wall. Here is the first Avengers. I was like, all right, that was all right. This is not going to stop for the next couple decades. And I
No.
got off the fucking bus,
It's
and
gonna-
it was the smartest thing I've done in my life.
it's gonna keep going.
Yeah,
Honestly, it's
I don't care though. It needs to stop.
it's a cash cow.
I just gotta raise my hand for a second because
Yeah.
I was just like, let me try to look up some examples because I can't think of any off the top of my head. And on a list right above my list, it says best sci-fi mysteries: Scooby-Doo, Alien Invasion.
I'd watch that before I watched the next fucking Marvel movie.
Break down. Wait, Scooby-Doo Alien Invasion. Is that an animated one?
Yes,
That's not the live action
No,
one.
it's not.
No, oh no, the live action one's
it's the one with the aliens.
No
that's
shit.
actually a really good one. 'Cause Shaggy falls in love with an alien,
Yeah,
and so does Scooby.
just saying.
It's just like Jay said that one time. I'll be the first man in space.
Sorry, that was my
You're
fault.
destroying the mic, man. What the hell?
I kicked it. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
well, get out of here.
so
Yeah,
sorry.
I'll be the
Do
first
anything.
man to discover an alien life form. And fuck it.
Sexually.
Fuck it. There goes homeboy. Fuck the
have my
Martian
movies.
ones.
I have my movie because this is a superhero movie.
Okay, all right, hold on. So I'm gonna go with Sonic. Should not be considered sci-fi, but
What's
it's
not sci-fi about a hedgehog that runs real fast?
fast as fuck, boy.
That's what we.
Sonic. Go ahead, Joe. What's your movie?
You motherfucker.
Yeah, the room.
Oh man!
really?
The room suddenly smells of sulfur,
Oh wow!
and it
That
is
was
very bad.
Like I just saw Josh look at you with this stain, and I'm like, what? What? Oh!
Taste
Here,
my-
we're just gonna shove the Guinness under my nose.
Yeah, that's actually.
I don't care what he has to say anymore.
Yeah.
Taste of protein.
Yeah,
you're
you're-
my dog.
My movie is Jumper, with Anakin fucking Skywalker.
Hayden Christensen.
Yeah,
Hayden
Aiden
Christensen.
Christensen.
I hear he's the Darth Vader.
You don't think that should be? No, that's not. That's
It's
a hard one.
superhero movie.
I mean, is he a superhero though?
He's not. He becomes a hero by the end.
He has powers, but I don't think that makes
Yeah,
him a
but
superhero.
I don't think his side can be. I think that's a. It's even though it's not a superhero, it's still superhero. He has powers.
All right, that's fair. That's
How did he
That he's
get the
born
powers?
with.
He was born with it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
people are
that's straight superhero then.
I
That's-
guess like, people are randomly born with the superpower itself.
I mean, he's not a hero. He steals fucking banks and shit.
well, hey,
well,
listen,
super
depends on which bank
veiling.
he's stealing from.
Man, that is lingering.
It's gone from me. I'm safe over here.
I'm sorry.
Stuck in my mustache. Oh, God.
When I was looking through some movies that were listed as sci-fi, there was one that made me visibly upset, and it was Mad Max. Because Mad Max is not a sci-fi movie. That's just Australia without gas.
Yeah.
That is all that is.
It didn't take long for Australia to devolve.
No, they're like, where's the fucking petrol, mate? And then it was all downhill.
Yeah.
You started putting on fucking humongous masks, and there you
It
go.
just turned into war. Oh my god.
The
You know what?
boomerangs. There's boomerangs in that movie. They do that.
How about this? How about this? How about another one? Power Rangers.
It depends, because aren't there giant monsters in that as well?
Yeah, but it's not science fiction. It's superhero.
Yeah, but it's Japan.
You're gonna tell me right now, dudes in spandex suits in different colors doing poses and causing explosions.
Well, they're not all dudes. Hashtag not all dudes, Jeremy.
Fair. Men and women in costumes causing poses that cause explosions. Yeah, one just dabs and it blows himself up, and it just literally blows himself.
I'm going to go and Hail Mary this. That's not superhero. That's not sci-fi. That's anime. That is live action anime.
Live action.
Actually, you know what? I know we're going on tangents of movies that shouldn't be sci-fi, but I just came across a classic that none of us mentioned. For
And?
a good sci-fi movie.
Well, we didn't mention a lot, but I see right there on your phone exactly Men in Black.
Oh, classic. When I still had respect for Will Smith.
Yeah, back in the good times.
Yeah,
Back in the before times.
That fantastic movie. Again, one of those movies that mixed in a good amount of comedy and action and didn't take itself too seriously. I love movies that do that. Like, don't get me wrong, if a serious movie is meant to be serious and they can pull it off and it's good, that's great. But when it's a sci-fi movie like this and it's goofy and you have a good cast and you can kind of just...
Well, there's that ability that some directors have to blend in. Here's the horror, here's the action, here's the comedy. And it comes out, perfect.
Right.
Like a perfectly cooked steak at a restaurant or something. The guy knows what he's doing. But
like,
9 times out of 10, you get the suburban Sasquatches of the world.
Oh my god, well no, that's...
I know, that's perfect. But there are certain things you get out there that are just awful.
What would you rate Suburban Sasquatch?
Suburban Sasquatch is an 11 out of 10.
No, I mean, like, what would its movie...
Ecological horror.
Giant penis flop flop flop.
Ecological Bigfoot horror movie.
It's got titties and a giant penis just flopping around.
That's not titties, that's actually the Starship Trooper armor. He just painted it with nipples.
And hair. The best part when he
I
rips
got
the
this
guy.
on the cheap.
Like when he takes the guy's arm and rips it off and throws it at him.
No, the best part is, that part where, he rips his guts out and shoves it in his own mouth. But my favorite is when he's eating these nice 2 young women and he rips her arm off. And then they fast forward and their bodies are gone, but he's still holding her arm. It's like, wouldn't he eat that first? What the fuck happened?
No, I bet the best part is when they're tearing people. He'll be tearing a singular person apart, and you'll see 3 arms fly in the air.
Yes.
Yes. And they're
the rubber arms.
Yeah, rubber arms you can get at any Halloween store.
We're going to do a full episode with video where we just watch this movie.
It's
Yeah.
so fucking
Because
funny.
it is perfect. There will be guest stars. It needs to happen.
Yeah, I gotta say.
It's gonna happen. It's on the to-do list.
There's a lot on the to-do list.
All right, another movie that shouldn't be sci-fi. Spy Kids.
Danny Trejo's in it, though.
Kids doesn't mean
He's Machete before it happened.
He's Machete, but you know what?
Machete.
I can't give my pass on sci-fi.
I don't remember that movie. I watched it when I was like 6.
It's I gotta say it's just basically like the first movie is the parents get captured or something by a supervillain.
Without looking, though, what are the kids' superhero names?
They don't have the
Yes, they do.
they don't have.
I could be
superhero
wrong. I could be misremembering, but I believe it's Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
No!
names. Oh my god! Oh my god!
I'm not gonna throw anything at
Yeah,
you.
you're gonna throw something over Shark Boy and Lava Girl
No,
and Spy Kids?
Is that sci-fi, sir?
Yes, I don't know. I've never seen it.
I don't want to.
The thing I remember the most from Spy Kids, didn't they have a thing where it was like a microwave that would cook them whatever they want?
No, literally they press a button and it like hyper cooks it and it just goes boop.
Yeah, like that I'm down for. That's sci-fi, Jeremy. That's Star Trek.
Technically, one of the great sci-fi movies of all time had that as well.
Well, again,
The
I
Wrath
just-
of Khan.
Back to the Future.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, Back to the Future is great for people who want to have sex with their mother, Joe.
Whoa, God.
That's what that movie's about.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It is for you.
The mother wants to have sex with her son, but she doesn't know it.
Yeah, and then it flashes back to the beginning of the movie where she's like, "You're such a handsome boy," and it's like,
It's like, oh no, this movie is horrible.
There's implications there.
The implication.
You know, I'm actually surprised none of us talked about Alien yet.
Because I feel like it's been talked to death.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's one of those movies. Also, like, it is a sci-fi movie, but we also labeled it as an action movie.
It was an action movie when we
Well,
talked
it's
about
horror
it.
too, you know?
The second one is not horror.
No.
The first
it's
one,
straight.
though.
Yeah.
The first one is.
Yeah, that's right.
The Hug Me Alien from the first one is
Hug Me.
definitely up there.
Yeah.
But Alien 3 is more horror than Alien 2, Aliens. But we don't talk about Alien 3.
What about
You didn't like it?
Sci-fi.
I didn't hate it.
Crank.
Crank? Crank is
isn't that where
technically sci-fi.
Isn't that where he has like a machine heart? No, that's definitely
It's got
action.
artificial
Yeah.
heart.
Yeah, and he has
I
to like
was
keep
joking.
it charged. He has to like keep it charged.
The first one is
At
adrenaline. He
one
has
point-
to keep his adrenaline pumping. The second one, he has to keep his heart charged with
Doesn't he
electricity.
like charge his heart when he's like having sex or something
That's
like that?
one of them, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, come on, we have to have sex right now.
He's
Yes!
like having sex with in public and his wife's loving it. And then
Yeah,
he's
she's
like,
like, this
Amy's
is so
smart.
spontaneous. I love this. And like a bus full of like Japanese tourists come.
No, like, dude, there's a
They're, like,
shit ton
taking
of people,
pictures.
yeah.
They're like, wow, and he's just like, I am alive.
That
Yeah.
movie, they're so horrible, but you need to watch them. They're not even a train wreck. It's just, I don't know how to describe
It's
it.
so bad.
It's so strange.
It's so bad that it's amazing. It transcends everything, and it's
He
beautiful.
shoves a shotgun up a man's ass, dipped in motor oil,
And pulls the trigger.
and pulls the trigger.
Oh
Have
my
you not
God.
seen these?
I haven't seen it in a while. I don't remember that
Oh,
scene.
we might have to go back. I don't remember that scene either, but we might have to go back.
Oh
I think that's
God.
a 2.
I've seen 2 one time, and it made me really want to do karaoke. Just because the Keep On Loving You at the end, I was like, I could do that.
As he's on fire.
On fire, making out with a woman, catching her on fire.
Let's talk about another sci-fi movie that shouldn't be sci-fi. Rampage.
But that is sci-fi. It just shouldn't exist. The movie shouldn't exist.
I guess it is sci-fi. I just don't like the movie itself. It's just really
We
bad.
could go on and on
What
about
about-
movies we don't like.
It was on the list when I looked it up, so I'm gonna name it. What about Reign of Fire?
Dragons. That's more.
Fantasy. That's why I'm saying it's
I mean,
not,
it's
but it was
it's also post-apocalyptic technically.
But that's. I have a problem with post-apocalyptic being sci-fi. I don't think that's science fiction.
It's like,
I think that's
oh,
a
it's not
logical
gonna happen.
conclusion.
It's probably gonna happen.
Dragons aren't
yeah,
gonna
without
happen
dragons.
unless I don't know science fiction.
With genetic engineering, anything is possible.
If you believe the conspiracy theorists, which we're not going to get into, we already have things like that.
Well, now we also have one of the biggest sci-fi franchises to date, Star Wars.
Yes, that's on my list, and I specifically did not mention it because what do we have to say about Star Wars other than the prequels were great, the 5th one's the best movie. No, let me rephrase that. The original are great. The prequels are garbage.
But
the
they're
best one,
funny.
but they're hilarious to watch.
Yes,
Definitely
yes,
watch
yes.
them. The 5th one is the best movie, and the new stuff is garbage. They
Yeah.
don't exist.
It's
Don't watch
hot, steaming.
Terrible.
it. It's like so.
They threw out so much.
You
lore.
look at George Lucas and be like, you fucked everything up. No, he made it.
No, he made $4 billion.
He made a lot of money. He made a lot of good
I'm pretty
decisions.
sure wasn't he hands off on the creation of the sequel trilogy?
Yeah, he had.
Yeah.
They kicked him out,
Yeah.
but he made his $4 billion. But at the end of the day, what
Yeah,
Disney did with it, they took something that was enjoyable, had a bunch of side lore, Kyle Katarn, shit like that. What was the evil space ones that are like all fucked up? They start with a U, like the ooze.
The Yuzong Vol.
Yuzon Vong. Yeah,
Or
there's-
it's a Yuzong Vol or something like
yeah,
that.
great side species that's like not able to get hurt by the Force, and they're
Like-
fucking brutal.
The
Yeah, you can't-
Mandalorians, everything that happened.
Yeah, like
in the
there
Old
was so much.
Republic,
There was so
Except
much. to
Revan,
go-
apparently.
Except Revan.
But
yeah,
they-
because he's technically extended universe.
Yes, but still, they threw out all this.
Like they picked and choose.
Yeah, they
And
threw out all this.
continue to pick and choose. They're like, oh, we didn't actually get rid of that one. I like that story. Liberty taking it. That was just not announced yet.
No, they threw out all this good shit, and then they're like, here is the Skywalker family drama again.
With Ben Solo.
Here, this entire fucking family has destroyed the galaxy 6 times now, and here comes Palpatine on a giant claw, because he's not dead, he's a clone, and clones!
Yeah. Yeah, literally. No. And then like Rey's like, I'm Rey Skywalker.
Fuck you.
It's like, what?
No, that bitch, that fucking Mary Sue. I'm just good at everything. I've been on a sand planet my entire life.
I
know how to fly.
I have training in the Force. I know how to do everything.
And she can fly the Millennium Falcon. It's like, no, you cannot.
Which throws out all previous like stories of the Force, where it's like, yes, you can have raw power, but without control over that power, you're nothing.
No, she's just amazing because Yas Queen.
But apparently, all the other dead Force ghosts. Which, by the way, can I tell you this? Becoming a Force ghost isn't inherent to being good side of the Force or negative. No. It's a technique that was learned by the ancient Force users, forgotten, and then Qui-Gon Jinn rediscovered it, and then told Yoda, and apparently Anakin. But again, that's not inherent. It doesn't just happen. It's a technique you have to learn. I don't know if they retconned that, but again, it's fucking stupid. But apparently, all the Force ghosts of the past, the entire amalgamation of the light side of the Force was apparently training Rey, and which has never happened anywhere else in the lore.
Why? Why is she so special?
I don't know. Why wouldn't they do that with Anakin?
Why wouldn't they do that with Luke?
He was the chosen one. Why would they do
the last of the Jedi?
No, she's the last of the fucking Skywalker line that needs to die.
But she's not even a Skywalker. She's a Palpatine.
I'm just going to throw it out here.
She called herself a Skywalker simply to call herself a Skywalker.
I'm going to simply say this. I watched up to 7, and then I was like, this is bad.
So basically, she's a cloned granddaughter.
God, she's a clone. She actually is.
I'm pretty sure is she a clone?
I think she was a clone.
Oh no, she's the granddaughter. Sorry, I think she's the granddaughter of Palpatine. Is it?
Who was Palpatine fucking with that prune face?
Well, he was young once.
He was, but Star Wars needs to die. There's so much that needs to die, and that's one of it. Joe, it's only been an hour. We don't have to end it yet.
But yeah, I think so. Rey's a Palpatine. Her father was a clone of the infamous Sith Lord.
So his clones were fucking people. This is just stupid.
Here's the thing. In the original lore, Palpatine, after figuring out the cloning procedure that happened during the Clone Wars, took the next 20 to 30 years and tried to learn how to clone Force users, which is much more difficult. And he did, in his original story, make himself clones that he can transfer his consciousness into.
There is so much you can do with Star Wars. So much. In an infinitesimal amount. But what they keep doing is saying, Darth Vader, Palpatine, Skywalkers. I don't care.
Yeah, moving on.
Just move on.
Even obviously, they're central characters, so they're not going to totally be out of the picture.
They don't have to be.
But in the extended universe, which used to be canon, what ends up happening after the war with the Empire, essentially after Episode 6, was Luke becomes the most powerful Jedi to have ever existed, arguably. He becomes what Anakin was supposed to be, and he creates the new Jedi Academy, essentially, and. What ends up happening is they get into a war with the Yuzong Val, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, which are basically demonic space elves that you can't see with the Force that have armor that's resistant to blasters and lightsabers, and an entire war breaks out. And Anakin's ancestors, Luke's children, or his niece and nephew, because Leia and Han Solo have children, all either die or become one of them still becomes a light side user, but one dies. I think it's Anakin Solo dies, and then Jason Skywalker, who is Luke's son, becomes a Sith, and they end up fighting. Then he fights the dark personification of the Force called
Jeremy. We're gonna take you. You're gonna rein it in here.
Sorry, I'm going on a tangent,
and I'm gonna interrupt him and say we're gonna do an entire episode where we make Jeremy just lore drop off the top of his head, and we're gonna compare the wiki page to see how well he does.
He's probably gonna know more than the wiki page.
The wiki page will be wrong.
I'll have to delve into my brain. Brain library.
Going back to Star Wars.
He just closes his eyes.
So much cool stuff.
I blacked out.
Matrix with books, and he goes, "Aha! I found it."
It's like that scene from Old School where Will Ferrell has to talk about socioeconomics of the world, and he blacks out why he says it. And he's like, "Oh, what happened? What happened?" Yeah, essentially.
Yes.
Any other movies, gentlemen?
I got nothing.
That shouldn't be.
In general, sci-fi movies in general.
If we're just going down my list, there was Escape from New York, which they turned New York into a prison, basically.
Would you call that sci-fi?
No, I wouldn't, because say New York City goes all fucking to shit, and they just say, fuck it, we're walling it off. It's already shit, but they wall it off, and they turn it into a prison. Why not?
You know what? Honestly, what I found was funny was the main character in the beginning.
Snake Plissken.
Yeah, he goes, "Oh, my name's not Snake Plissken anymore. That was my war name." And by the end of the movie, he's like, "I'm Snake Plissken."
I love Kurt Russell in pretty much everything he's ever done. And Snake Plissken is up there.
Wasn't there like an Escape from what is it?
L.A.
L.A. or
where
something
he
like-
surfs and there's Steve Buscemi in a car. It's not a good
Well,
movie.
there's like the basketball scene is Escape from L.A. Right?
I think
Yes,
that's
it
it.
is.
Yeah, and he apparently
And he
actually
did
made.
it legit. Yeah, he
Yeah.
like back. He throws a half court, more than a full court shot and makes it.
No. It's more than that. Like he throws a 3-pointer, has to do a sprint across the entire court, throws a half-pointer, or half-pointer, throws a half-quarter, does like another like sprint across the court, and then throws like a full court shot and makes all 3 of them
Yep,
in real
that's
time.
But Kurt Russell's
that was
just
real.
cool and a good entertainer, and that's where I'd leave it. But I'm
And then,
just saying,
well,
not-
South Park knows, you know, they want to throw him into, action scenarios, and he's like, "I'm just an actor," but you're an action actor.
yeah, you can do this.
Yeah, you can totally do this. And then he meets Christmas critters. Would not recommend.
They're raping me and it hurts.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, it's fucking funny. Actually, you know what? For a good movie, a good sci-fi movie that came out really soon, that I have high hopes for the franchise, Dune.
I've heard Christopher Walken's going to be in the next one, so I'm probably going to have to watch it.
Interesting. Did you watch the first one?
No, but he's going to be like a king or something.
Interesting. I would say if he's going to be the emperor, that's an interesting
Yeah, that's what I
choice.
heard my coworkers talking about it.
That
at
is
some
an
point.
interesting choice. I'll give you this, man. You got to watch the first one is worthwhile.
I just want to see the new one.
I-
Not
Yes,
the not
yes,
the okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes. Because in the past, I
can
think in the
fall asleep.
past, Dune movies in the past are classic. They're cult classics, but they're goofy.
Probably.
You know, where this movie is done right. It's done
You mean the
seriously.
glowing blue eyes and the fight that just kind of ends, and then the movie just rolls credits after they talk. Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of goofy. Well, the blue eyes is still in this new one.
My blue eyes.
But blue eyes. So essentially, what ends up happening is there's like this the spice melange.
Yes.
Is what it's actually called. It's like this dust that's created by the sandworms on this planet, and it's got like these crazy psychedelic properties. And the more you inhale, it turns your eyes blue.
Well, all I know is that you're going on another lore dump.
That's all I'm gonna say. It was really well done. I gotta say, it was.
It's definitely something that I would watch. I mean, once again, I have a long list that is just like a wall of movies. Mm-hmm. And half of them I own, but I just haven't gotten around to it because,
Right.
you know, life is fucking busy.
Life
Sorta
finds a
happen-
way. Yeah, sort of happens. I would argue that life happens.
Yeah, once in a while.
Yeah. We got lucky with it, right?
I mean, I'm stuck in a room with you
Alright.
and you're shitting your pants. I don't know how lucky I am.
I am actually gonna rephrase or change my my favorite sci-fi movie to the Fantastic Four.
That's a superhero movie. I'm gonna throw you out this window.
It is.
Why don't you just say the Green Lantern?
It is a
with
super-
fucking Ryan Reynolds.
It is a superhero movie, but it's a superhero movie on the same level of bad as the Green Lantern.
It's just really
It's terrible.
I like the Fantastic Four because she's got nice boobies. I
mean, she does.
Do you
but
remember? I remember.
I'm a member.
That's actually what I was thinking when you guys were talking about Star Wars.
You remember the Ewoks?
Yeah, I remember the
I
Ewoks.
remember.
Nobody remembers the Ewoks fondly. If you do, you're wrong.
You remember Boba Fett?
I love how they were able to kill advanced stormtroopers with spears.
I love how Boba Fett attacks a Jedi with fucking rope, basically. He tries to string him up, and then he's just dead. He must have been shit-faced. There's no other... Boba Fett is dead, by the way. Boba Fett died.
Actually, in the
No, Boba Fett's dead. I don't care.
Well,
he's
the
dead.
guy in the other canon.
I know,
No,
but
in
he's
both.
dead to me.
in both canons he lived
Yes, but he's dead.
because of his armor.
But he's dead.
You can argue that all you want.
I'm
actually.
going to. He is all style, no substance, and he fucking died like a bitch.
Okay, in the old movies, I'll give you that. But
He
in
just
the,
shows up and is like,
in the
pew,
Man-
pew, and then he's dead.
in the Mandalorian series.
Is the Mandalorian is another Mary Sue. The main character is just good at everything, and he's never gonna die.
But see, it's not a Mary Sue because he's a highly trained soldier. And he's wearing bulletproof armor. That's what he does. He's a
He's
Mandalorian.
good at everything, and I don't
The
like it.
Mandalorians are meant to be warriors. They have a warrior-based society. The only
Yes,
Mandalorian
Josh.
Jedi created the Darksaber, arguably the most powerful lightsaber in existence.
Well, one, I want to throw it out there. There is a Jabba the Hutt species Jedi, and it's amazing. But other than that, when you watch something, there's got to be some, okay, the main character can actually die or get hurt. And there's all these shit with Star Wars that you're like, he's going to be fine. There's no danger, so why am I invested?
That's what going back to the new Star Wars movies. Literally, I would have been so happy if they killed Finn sacrificing himself to destroy that like Empire thing in the Last Jedi.
Make
and then
their
they took away
stakes.
from him, and I'm like, you lost me. You fucking.
So I will
You
say,
lost the plot.
I will say this: when it comes to the main hero, to go on the hero's journey, the hero typically will survive. But like in the end of their journey, I can say yes, they can die at the end of their journey. But until their journey is complete, they are the integral part of the story itself.
I'm just saying, I'm
to
so
kill off
tired
the-
of it, though.
To kill off the main character, I think would just be not a good endeavor.
Yes,
That's why,
but you
like,
have to at least... They can't be good at everything.
That's fair. No, but it's not about them being good at everything. It's about them getting out barely alive and learning and becoming stronger.
When I saw The Mandalorian, I just remember him basically never running into problems.
He almost died a few times.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Yeah, he didn't.
We're going to have to agree to disagree here.
Yeah. All right. Well, how about another one that has to fuck with time?
What?
Time travel.
What about time travel? What movie are you talking about?
Tenant.
Never seen it. I saw it. This is the motion picture thing. It's going to bring everyone back from
Yeah.
COVID. And then it didn't do so well.
That movie was so fucking confusing that I was like, I watched it. I watched the whole thing and I went, okay.
Essentially, it kind of comes down to like the cause and effect of time, right? Like what comes first? Did the effect cause the cause, or did the cause the effect, right? And so with the movie, obviously, spoiler alert. What ends up happening is this man, he's basically a secret agent. We'll boil it down to layman's terms here. He's basically a secret agent that needs to stop a rich, like multi-billionaire from essentially ending the world. And he has like a week to do so, or like he has a certain amount of time to do so. And he goes through these machines that basically reverse the order in which you do things, right? Reverse the order in which you do things, so you kind of go back in time. And he's contracted by somebody who does not know to stop the world from ending. And he has to go through this like time travel like machine that basically again turns back time several times. And what you don't understand is he fights himself several times throughout the entire story, and it's very convoluted. And in the end, he is the contractor, himself, 20 years in the future or something like that, or like 10 years in the future, is the contractor that hired himself in the past to do the entire project.
When does Inception happen during this?
A dream within a dream.
Yeah,
within a dream.
within a dream of time travel. Like,
Somebody-
this is
somebody
isn't it
order-
Christopher Nolan?
Did somebody order a pizza?
Yes, it's Christopher.
Yes.
Did somebody order a pizza? Oh, it's probably that guy's. I'm going in from South Park when they do the Inception thing. Oh my
I'm
god.
just saying though, that is so fucking stupid. That South Park episode.
I'm actually
7 dreams deep.
I'm actually a herder. Yes, hoarder. Yes, we know. Oh my god, and they have to. Oh my god, and then they get Freddy Krueger to come in.
Yeah.
He's like, I told you I'd never do it again.
You are the dream expert, though, Freddy.
You're the only
Great
one that can accept you
episode.
enough.
But it sounds like Christopher Nolan was just sniffing his own farts with this one.
It's
Like,
honestly not a bad movie. It's a movie that makes you think, which is the important thing. I like movies that make me think.
I'm a Western audience member. I don't want to think.
You
I like action. I like shoot, bang, bang.
I want to watch Transformers
I really like
Oh god, that's technically a sci-fi movie.
because they transform.
No, because they're an alien race.
Oh, it's all fucking stupid. I have never seen a Transformers movie, and I never will.
Honestly, they're not awful.
Oh,
But
I'm
they're-
sure they're fun, explosive fuckfests.
They're Michael Bay at its core, where it's just bang.
Shia LaBeouf. Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf shows up.
Actual cannibal.
Have you never seen that?
What does he eat? Somebody?
Oh my god, I have something to show you after this. Don't look it up.
Oh,
Alright, we're gonna watch Actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf after this.
is
But-
that a movie?
You really never seen
No,
that?
well, it's a quick, like, 3-minute thing, but it's great. So we'll get back to that. But we should probably, Jeremy, stop looking it up. We should probably start wrapping this up.
Yes. Kids, remember, always wrap it up.
Always
Yes.
wrap it before you tap it.
Mm-hmm. When in doubt, whip it out.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Especially if we're talking to the kids. Don't do that. That'll get you in a lot of trouble. But either way, what are we doing this week?
What we are going to do is, well, besides...
What are you doing this week?
I was going to say, well, but I think besides work, obviously, schedule a few things out, schedule some trips, make sure I have everything written down so I don't forget anything.
Yeah, we're gonna get you a fucking calendar so you don't.
I'm gonna get you a notebook. Actually, I have a notebook for you. It's a scheduler.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get you that, and you're gonna start checking it daily.
Yeah, I do need that because I forget a lot of things.
Yeah, so we're gonna do that. Time management is Jeremy's goal for the week. Joe, what are you looking at?
I gotta work on and finish writing a D&D campaign this week, and then I have to watch Thor and eat sushi, and order strippers for Josh's birthday.
No, we're not ordering any strippers for my birthday unless
agree.
unless there's a woman in a cake that's gonna pop out of it. I'm not interested.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
One of my
it's
childhood
Jeremy
nicknames was
with-
Mr. President.
It's Jeremy with nipple tassels on.
You know, if someone's popping out of a cake, I'm not all for it.
Even better. It's Brian.
Brian popping out of a cake, I'm down.
That man
Hey
can actually do
Brian,
it.
you're listening to this on that airplane. I have bad news for you. It's going down.
You're getting baked in a cake, dog.
It's a good time. Good
Josh,
time.
what are you doing this week?
I'm going to try to get a workout schedule going, stick to that. Beyond that, I'm just going to be working a lot. And honestly, the thing I've been hitting the most recently is Devil May Cry. So I'm going to be playing the shit out of that because I've never really gone through all of them.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it in chronological order, not release date, which is really fucked up because it's like 3, 1, 4, 5, 2. So I've got to play them completely out of order, and it's going to be a blast.
Have you played them before?
I've played the third one and beat that before, and it was fun.
So do you even know what's going to be happening in most of them?
No. I know it's Dante, Virgil, demons, and Nephilim, and all that garbage.
Gotta love it.
I also played the reboot of it, but that's not really great.
Yeah, I forgot, gentlemen, on the 16th we all have our D&D campaign where I'm going to rise like a phoenix from my burnt coma.
Yes, because you got knocked out by
Set on fire, I relooted your corpse.
Basically, before I ended this, we scheduled D&D and I missed it, so they essentially set me on fire, put me in a coma, and then my corpse was looted, and now I'm going to be joining in the next campaign episode, so I'm not exactly sure what is about to happen.
I will give a spoiler for the audience. It involves feet.
I don't want to play anymore.
Interesting.
If it involves feet, I'm out.
I have a potion of greater healing, but we'll get into that later. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, that'll sum up this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed yourselves. Get out there, watch some great sci-fi movies. I hope we listed some that you haven't heard of.
And then spoiled them to no end.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely. But still, hopefully you'd like to watch them. You know what I mean? At this point, so here we are signing off. I am the Stash Father. We have Shifty,
And I'm out.
And the juice. Gonna go take a nap.
and we are signing off. God bless.